everybody, thank you for checking out another episode of Gamer Logic. I'm Mike Murtis, and today I wanted to talk about a series that I think is very underappreciated. The show is Game Center CX. It's been around since 2003 and has become popular enough in Japan to spawn 2 DS games. It actually had one game come out here in America, and I also wanted to talk about that as well. So, what's the premise of Game Center CX? Game Center CX features a Japanese comedian by the name of Arino, and he basically plays a lot of old school games and has like a 24-hour time period to beat them. The great thing about him is that he is not an expert game player by any means. He's not absolutely terrible, but he's absolutely not the best either. So the whole premise of the show is you're just kind of cheering him on, hoping that he's going to get through the game, he's going to find all the secrets, and then you're also doing tons of face palms too, because he just makes some absolutely terrible errors when he's playing the game, and it's quite funny. Occasionally he gets help from other game players that are working with him and that are filming him do the challenges and everything, and it's just a whole lot of fun. Another interesting thing about the series is he just doesn't sit and play games, but the show also talks about various Famicom collection carts from certain companies like Taito as well as Enix before they obviously joined with Square, Namco, just tons of other great companies. He also goes out and occasionally interviews people, like he interviewed Kojima from the Metal Gear Solid series, the creator of the Mystical Ninja series. He also interviewed the creator of the later Castlevania games. So very, very cool stuff. It's neat to see a Japanese person interview another Japanese person and just see how they differ from, say, an American interview. The style is just very different. Another interesting thing about this show is that he will also go out to various Japanese game centers all over Japan and play tons of classic or modern arcade games at these game centers. It's just really cool to see a Japanese type arcade and how they have these many floors and everything. He'll visit retro game stores too, like Super Potato is featured in there a few times. He actually has the owner of Super Potato come out and show off certain game handhelds or some really rare and expensive games. It's just overall a very, very, very cool show. Now, I wanted to take the footage I have from my DVD and actually put it with the video as I'm talking about it to give you guys an example. Unfortunately, Fuji Japan, the copyright holder of Game Center CX, has been banning and sending copyright claims against anyone who pretty much uploads any footage of this up on YouTube. There were so many accounts banned, it really disappointed me. So I wanted to take a quick moment to talk to Fuji Japan and the makers of Game Center CX who are filing these copyright claims and say, hey, YouTube is an excellent way of promoting this show. 2 years ago, you guys brought the show over to America and aired it in a Japanese theater. You showed it off there. The premise of it, people liked it. Unfortunately, no one bought the rights to your DVDs that are already subtitled. If you let people put this show on YouTube, then people are going to get interested in it, and they're going to want to watch it. It's very hard for me to kind of show off how great the show is when I'm afraid that I'm going to get hit for a copyright strike on this. So Fuji Japan, Game Center CX copyright holders, let this show be seen on the internet. Maybe even take the show your guys' self and put it out there. I don't know. But to get back to this, this is my Game Center CX DVD. I own multiple seasons of this, but for the episode itself, I just wanted to pull this out and show this one off. This is the first season. It doesn't contain all the episodes of the first season, but it contains all the big ones, all the really fun ones. And I got this at Play Asia, as well as all my other ones I got at Play Asia. But it's very, very cool. It's got a lot of good episodes on there. It's got a DVD exclusive game on there, which is Transformers. The game, as you know, if you've ever seen it, is very, very, very difficult. And Reno gets pretty decently far in it, though he doesn't finish it. But what I like about this is how cool the packaging is. It shows off the Famicom controller, which is why I have the Famicom out over here, as well as the cartridge. And if you kind of look at the box design, you see the back of the Famicom, as well as the AV output. So just very, very cool package design. But this is a fantastic show. You can actually check out a fan subtitled version, which is how I found it originally, if you go to TV Nihon. And they have a good portion of episodes fan subbed. Unfortunately, They kind of take their time on putting them out, but there's enough out there where you can get a really good fix on these episodes and really enjoy the show. But again, check it out. It's well worth it. I highly recommend it. Now let's talk about the games. The games, obviously, there's 2 games. Both came out in Japan, and only one of them came out to America. And the American version is actually called Retro Game Challenge, not Game Center CX. The premise is that Areno has basically come so fed up with modern games that he's somehow transferred a digital evil version of himself into a Nintendo DS, and now he haunts gamers everywhere. So you as the gamer pick up this game, you put it in, and Areno transforms you into a kid. And the only way you can become old again and be back in modern times is if you beat all his challenges. The games in this are very, very cool. The interface in this is very, very cool as well. You get all these different NES homages, basically, that show off like Dragon Warrior clones, an RC Pro-Am clone, there's a Door clone, that's like the first 2 Haggleman games that you'll really get a kick out of. There's an RPG, just tons of great stuff. You can see a little bit of footage from what I'm showing to you here, but the challenges are so fun, and eventually you can just play through the games, but certain games have certain goals. Like he'll tell you you need to beat the first 5 stages of Cosmic Gate, and you get through there, and then you unlock the next challenge, and eventually you get the next game. The menu interface is slick because when you're turned into a kid, you meet this other little kid who's just kind of wondering what in the heck you're doing in his house. But he becomes friends with you because you play games, obviously, and he kind of helps you get along your way to beat the challenges. And as the challenges progress, other games will come out, and he'll also get new magazines and stuff, so you'll find like new cheat codes in his bookcase and everything, and you'll be flowing through the magazine. It's very, very, very cool. Highly recommend it. Unfortunately, it didn't sell a lot of copies, so your homework assignment is to go out, if you have a DS and you like retro games, is to go find this, go pick it up. If you're a retro game fan, this needs to be in your library. XSEED did an excellent job bringing this out. You can find this thing for less than 20 bucks. It's tons of fun. Seriously, tons of fun. Just go pick it up. You won't be sorry. Now, to get on the subject of the second game, this has not been brought over to America because of poor sales of Retro Game Challenge, but this is kind of the same deal. A whole new slew of different challenges. There's an RPG here, as well as an adventure game. There's a puzzle game in there, more platformers, more overhead view games, just tons and tons and tons of fun. I highly recommend this one as well, though you got to have a translation guide with it so you can play through it, because a lot of stuff is text heavy. I'm a big, big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of the first game. I had to pick up the second game because, again, I am very, very afraid that this is never going to come out. So if you pick up the first game and you like it, write XSEED and tell them that you'd like to see the second game, because trust me, it is tons of fun. I've reviewed the first game before, but I will review both games right now and give them both a 5 out of 5, as well as the series. Go and check this out. It's very, very much worth your time if you're a fan of retro gaming. I hope it gets brought over, but I can only hope, and that's going to depend on the support of you people, to get this show and get the other game to come out there. I'm Mike Murtis with Gamer Logic. Peace. Gamer Logic.